Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm super excited to share with you 3 quick and easy cards. We're using the Spellbinders card kit of the month for September 2023. It's called Jump into Fall. Although my cards could be used for every day, not just fall, I thought I'd give you some ideas on how to use the kit. This is the kit here. We'll go through it really quickly. You get a content sheet. The reverse side has a recipe guide on how to create one of the cards on front. That's your pouch that your kit will come in. You get 8 A2 size card bases. They're side folding. And then you get 8 A2 envelopes. They have a real pretty V flap. You get some card front panels. You get 20 in total. You get 5 different colors: blue, green, yellow, pink, and brown. There's 4 panels of each color. I get a huge pack of die cuts. I mean, lots and lots, and you get 2 of each die cut. So if you want to double up on your cards to stretch your card making, you can. These are your 6x6 pattern papers. They're single-sided, and some of them do have gold foiled accents. You get some puffy sentiments here. Sticker sentiments. These are the kinds if you smush, they don't smush, so they'll hold their shape. You get a bag of black sequins in 2 different sizes. You get some chipboard stickers. You get the front and back here. There's some sentiments in there as well. And then I call these icon stickers because they're on the smaller side, but those are puffy stickers. You also get some double-sided tape and some foam tape, which I usually don't use. I bring in my own because it's quicker, but that does work really well. I'm going to grab my 3 card bases and we're going to jump in to our first card. We are going to start by adhering some pattern paper to a background panel. I'm using the blue A2 panel that was in our kit, but you could use any of those. Use your least favorite color because you're not going to see this. This is basically just to keep this pattern paper stable when I pop it up with foam adhesive. My panel measures 3 1/4 inches wide by 4 1/2 inches tall. This piece here with the pink stripes measures, of course, 3 1/4 inches wide by 1 inch tall. I love these colors together. As I'm looking at this, I'm going to place this on my card base, and then I have a strip of this pattern paper. It's kind of hard to tell what pattern paper this is, but let me show you. This is the ledger paper that's in our 6x6 pattern papers. I just trimmed it down to a 1/4 inch strip. Now I'm going to add glue behind it, and then I want the seam to flow from the front of my panel to the back. So I'm using this as a gauge, and I will tack this down. And then I'm going to trim away the excess. Before we pop up our panel with some pop-up foam, I have some black and white baker's twine. We're going to add this, tying a bow to the right. And then I'll trim the tails of this baker's twine. For the most part, you're not going to see the baker's twine over the seam. So if you wanted to just tie a bow and use a glue dot, you could do that as well. I'm going to go ahead and take this panel. I love those colors together. I will flip it around. We're going to add some glue. I'll use my pop-up foam, place it on the reverse side. I'll add some more glue, and then we'll tack this down on our card base. Again, we're going to follow those seams from that ledger paper that we adhered. Basically, you're just going to see the left and the right of it. Now, after this is here, you can see that I have some of my die cut pieces. I have 2 of these florals. They're actually the same. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit, but this is going to go on the left of my card. And then I did have 2 extra flowers, but there was a lot going on, so I didn't end up using those. But I do have some butterflies also. For my greeting, I'm going to be using the chipboard sticker that says Love and Laughter. And I want to put it along, just below the seam, I should say. This is how come you can't see the seam of the baker's twine. You can get away with just tying a bow with it. But I added that, and then we're going to pop up each of the butterflies and place them in that floral area. And I'm grabbing some smaller foam squares for the smaller butterflies. I'm going to use my glue, and I will add some of my black sequins. Now I'm adding the black sequins, and I'm so hesitant when I'm doing this. You guys can't, you guys don't see it, you just see my hands, but I'm like, this is just not going right. I think that they're a little bit too dark because I chose some really light pattern papers. If I would have chose different pattern papers, I think I could have got away with the black. But we're going to change this in a minute. I have a picture coming up that you can see I changed it. We're going to use some Crystal Mix Color Essential Gems. But I have a new little glue container, and I'm actually loving it. I'm not sure how well it's working, so I'm not going to comment about my little glue container just yet. I'm going to play with it a little bit more before I let you guys know if I like it or not. Okay, we're on our next card. I have a panel here. This measures 3 inches wide by 4¼ inches tall. And again, I'm bringing in those blue A2 panels, and I'm going to place the ledger paper right over the top of this. And then I have that pink stripe paper. I'm going to go ahead and put my foam behind it so it's ready to go. But I have the stripe paper that measures 1½ inches tall, and then it's going to be the width of my card base, so 4¼ inches wide. I'm going to add some glue and place it all the way to the bottom of my card base. And then my blue pattern paper is like the grid paper. We're using all 3 of these papers for all 3 cards. I kind of like to go for a color theme when I make my cards with the card kit. And then I have a little bit overhanging. You could wrap it on the inside. Sometimes I do that. And then if not, you can just trim away the excess. I already adhered my ledger paper to my card base. And then now we're going to take our die cut books. I put some foam tape behind it, and then I also put foam tape behind the phone. We're going to stack the phone on top of the books here. I have 3 flowers from our die cut pack. I'm going to add some foam behind them and place them right next to the books. And then for this card, for my sentiment, I'm going to bring in the chipboard stickers. There's a sentiment in here. It's cute. It says so much to be grateful for, and it's on like a piece of paper. I thought we would stick this behind the phone, kind of at an angle on that panel. I'm going to go ahead and pop up each of my flowers. I'll put one on my chipboard sticker with the sentiment and then one underneath. And then after those are adhered, there is a small thought bubble that's a pink one. There's 3 of them actually in our chipboard stickers. I'm going to add one just above the phone. And then I thought about bringing in the black sequins once more, and then I'm going to change my mind because they were just too dark for my color palette. So I'm going to bring in some diamond Stickles. This is like a real goldy color iridescent glitter, and I'm going to fill in those flower centers and a little bit on the phone, the heart on our thought bubble, and a few elements on the book for a little extra sparkle. And then you can see here I add some of my Crystal Mix Color Essential Gems to this card too. We're going to do that at the end, but I wanted to show you pictures of me changing out that black. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take another panel. This panel is 2 3/4 inches wide by 4 inches tall. And then these pieces of pattern paper were just left over, so I didn't measure them, but by the time I trimmed them down and layered them on this panel, the measurements that you will want is the stripe paper, you would want a 1-inch tall strip. The ledger paper, you'll want a 1 1/4 inch tall strip, and then the blue grid paper, you're going to want a 1 3/4 inch tall strip by, of course, 2 3/4 inches wide. This is where I'm going to even it up and trim that little excess overhanging off the top. I have some pop-up foam for this panel too. Before we do that, I'm going to tie a bow off to the left. I love the black and white with these colors of papers. I think they look really pretty together. I'm going to add a few leaves. We're going to place them just above the bow. But before we do that, I do want to mention that that white circle is a 1-inch circle. I just use my circle punch for it. There's some circles in the chipboard pack, and one of the sentiments in here says happy heart, and I wanted it just a little bit bigger, so I layered it on that 1-inch circle I cut out with white cardstock. These are my leaves. I just love the color palette of these leaves. I'm going to pop all of them up with some foam squares, And then I also have 2 of the chipboard pumpkins. We're going to place them just above our bow, layering them all together. I'm going to go ahead and add my sentiment towards the right here. And with this card, I'm going to finish it off with some more of my diamond stickles. I'm going to go over the veins of my leaves and also some of the lines on the pumpkins, just to give this some sparkle. And the stickles is really subtle, but I really like the outcome. I'll show you here a picture in just a minute. Now, this is where I went in and I picked up some of those black sequins. There's the picture. But the black sequins, again, were just too much for these soft colors. So when I picked it up, of course, some of the glue took the paper with it. But that's the nice thing about adding gems right over the top, is you can cover up your mistakes. And I end up using the Spellbinders Color Central Crystal Mix gems for all 3 of my cards. For the colors, again, that I chose, I think these go a lot better. I think you'll agree. You can let me know down in the comments. Okay, we're going to finish off our last card with a little extra sparkle, and then those are my card projects today using the Spellbinders card kit of the month for September 2023. It's called Jump Into Fall. I hope you enjoyed my quick and easy card projects. There's still shots of these cards over on my blog if you want to check it out. The link for that's down below. But I thank you so much for joining me. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.